5 News at 4.
Good afternoon to you. I'm Carolyn Long. The storms have moved out, but the cleanup has just begun. Our Betsy Webster is live on the latest with KCP&L and restoring power to thousands. But first, our meteorologist Gary Amble kicks off our in-depth coverage with a look at how long our weather will stay in the clear like this. He's live here at this limb drop-off site.
Yeah, actually, I'm over at the drop-off site in Western Shawnee. There are 2 drop-off sites in Shawnee, one at Gum Springs, and this one is way out west on Johnson Drive. You can see people are really working hard. And, you know, this is this is the nice part. When you actually get to unload your truck, the wait in line is up to an hour long just to get to the point where you can do this. And it is a frustrating long wait at that. Right now, though, the pile's getting big, and there are many more trucks still yet to drop off their debris. So that line in this pile is actually going to get much, much bigger. Well, let's talk a little bit about the forecast for the remainder of the evening. I think this is going to be one of the better evenings to work. 2 really hot days will follow, and then thunderstorm chances will follow that. Well, let's talk a little bit about what's going on right now. Not a cloud in the sky here in Shawnee, and looking out through the eyes of our Diagnostic Imaging Center tower camera, not a cloud in the sky there either. But it is a fairly mild day. Right now, the wind is blowing in gently out of a northeasterly direction. It's holding humidity levels in check. It's still not a fantastic day to be working. It's still hot, and you will work up a sweat. Let's get a look at that evening forecast where temperatures will begin to cool just a little bit. At 7 o'clock, those temperatures will drop into the mid-80s, about 84 degrees then. By 10 p.m., 75. Now, the lines will stay long out here in Shawnee. They're closing this down at 8 o'clock tonight, so if you still have some debris to drop off, just be patient. Make sure you find a good radio station. The wait in line, it's about an hour. A look ahead to your forecast for the rest of the week and that next storm chance that's coming up. Carolyn?
Not an easy wait at all. Gary, thank you for that. And here's a look, too, at the latest power outage map. This is from KCP&L right now. It looks like the outages are at just a little over 18,000 at this hour. KCTV5's Betsy Webster is live for us in Fairway with more on what the power company is doing to help get the lights back on, the energy back on after that storm. Betsy?
Yeah, I think AC is more important than lights to most people. But, you know, what we've got here is this is part of the problem, these limbs that are down. In fact, I would call this more than a limb. I mean, this is an entire, small trunk, a little piece of trunk. And if you look behind me, you can see I'm going to trip over those limbs there. If you look behind me, you can see that there are KCP&L crews here working in consort with tree removal crews to get things fixed. That number you gave may seem big, but it is a vast improvement from the 140,000 they started with. KCP&L says they know it's difficult for folks to be without electricity, which is why they continued to hand out dry ice to keep food from going bad. Today's distribution was at the Midtown Home Depot. They ran out during a similar effort yesterday, but demand was not as intense today because many people had their power restored by morning. Now, they do have contractors that have come in from Colorado, Iowa, and Nebraska helping out in our bi-state area to get things back on as quickly as possible. But they warned that as the number of outages gets smaller, that work starts to take longer. You see, they start with the big backbone lines to get the largest number of people back on quickly. Then by today, well, they've been dealing with more scattered and more complex repairs.
We get into the backyards and we're moving around fences and backyards and moving poles in by hand, and the work just becomes very, very manual.
In fact, they have been making substantial progress already. I should point out that you can see only 2 vehicles behind me right now. Right before we went live, I'd say about 10 minutes ago, there were about 6 more, and they all just took off, so they have definitely taken care of something. Now, they say that they want to get about 90% of the power customers who are out back on by tonight. They hope to have everything up to 100%, but not until about Wednesday. Live in Fairway, Kansas, Betsy Webster, KCTV5 News.
Wednesday feels like a long time away. Thank you for that update, though, Betsy. Now, across the metro, cities are offering drop-off sites for waste, debris, and brush from the storms, much like where Gary was positioned in Shawnee. While Overland Park's location is set up at Young's Pool on 77th Street. It's open through 8 o'clock tonight, and they'll accept donations or drop-offs until Sunday the 30th. In Independence, their drop-off location is set up at 875 Vista Avenue. Their hours are 8 to 6 every day through August 6th. You do need to bring a proof of residency. Now, for a full listing of all the drop-off sites in the metro and cooling areas too, be sure to go to KCTV5.com. You can find it on the Found It on 5 section.